It's a Top That Trade Day. Kicking it off for us, Phil Flynn, a Fox Business Network contributor, and Alan Nuckman, the Chief Market Strategist for St. Paul Research. Here we go, guys, with round number one in our trader game, IIDTT. Is it different this time? Prices are up on used cars, propane, and chicken. Is the jump in inflation due to demand, or is supply stunted? And what does it mean for the market?
The market's got a little bit of spooked with this inflation jump to 13-year highs in the CPI and the biggest surge that we've seen in a long time. Now, let's remember, the last time there was a surge that big, we saw mortgage rates at 16%. We're nowhere near that. We're still below 3%. Actually, mortgage rates are ticking down. And look at your CD rates. CD rates are zero. Well, actually 0.05. So it is technically positive. But it seems to be logistics, as the market wasn't prepared for this surge in demand from everywhere. It'll take some time to recalibrate, but I don't think this is for real. And if you look at the Treasury tips, they're at right now 0.89%, which is adjusted for inflation. And they were at, that's minus 0.89%. They were at plus 3% in 2009. So we're still a long ways away from inflation being an issue.
Maybe it isn't inflation, but reflation, because let's face it, if you look at commodity prices over the last 10 or 20 years, they've really been out of whack with what's been happening in the stock market. I mean, stock market's record highs. You had a lot of things that were record lows. And for years, we've been saying you can't continue. You can't have a booming stock market with cheap commodity prices forever. Guess what? That's what's going to happen. Low prices cured low prices. We had low prices for years that created demand. And because prices were low, we didn't invest enough in the infrastructure to keep those supplies coming. All of a sudden, boom, we're out of everything. We have the tightest grain market we've seen maybe in 10 years. We have the tightest copper market we've seen probably in 20 years, and probably the tightest lumber market we've ever had. You put it all together, low prices cure low prices, and that's what we're seeing.
Inflation. The issue with chicken, all right, I did some deep research on this. The issue with chicken is the breeding stock. They didn't keep up with it. And they also Tyson changed roosters, and the roosters aren't as efficient as they used to be.
Oh, maybe they need some nice music or something.
Round number two, Chipotle changed. The Mexican restaurant chain is spicing things up by promising to pay a $100,000 salary to general managers in about 3.5 years from now. Is wage inflation a concern for this company's stock?
I don't think so. I think wage inflation is coming back, but let's face it, wages haven't kept pace with the global economy for some time. So that's a good thing. You know what I love about this story? That, McDonald's was an original investor in Chipotle back in the old days. They were one of their major investors. And this is the McDonald's model. This is how McDonald's grew their franchise. They said, hey, come to work as a burger flipper and you can someday be CEO. And that's exactly what happened. Ed Renzi, who I met one time, I was honored to meet him. He actually served me coffee at a restaurant that he owned, right? He comes out, the CEO, and I go, you look familiar. Who are you? I'm Ed Renzi, the CEO of McDonald's, and he's pouring me coffee. But he came up from the ranks. That's how corporate America should be. That's what we should be doing in other chains like this. Just don't say you're an employee, make it a career, and that's what Chipotle's doing.
If you look at the numbers, that's what everybody pays attention to on the unemployment numbers, and there's been no spike in inflation. There are a lot of people, there are a lot of jobs that need to be filled, but you need to see some equilibrium there. So he just talked about McDonald's is looking for 25,000 more people. Amazon's looking for 75,000. Let's talk about CMG stock. It's stuck between 1,200 and 1,600, but it is up 200% in the last 3 years. Right now, it's 10% off its recent highs. So you can look to see if it can hold this 1,200. We're at 1,300 right now. 1,200 is a support level. And if it can get back above 1,400, then it's going to test those highs once again.
And getting back to McDonald's real quick, it's been reported that McDonald's is going to give their employees a 10% raise, which is up and coming. And I don't know if that's because of wage pressure or because their employees threatened a strike. We'll have to wait and see.
Round number three, bad enough to buy. Pick a play from a list of beaten down stocks that includes Etsy, Viacom, AMD, and more.
It's you want to buy low and then look for it to snap back. So this list here, these are companies that are expecting earnings to not be below 2022 earnings, not be below 2021, and they're more than 20% off their top. So the stock I like, you mentioned Etsy, I like Citrix, CTXS. So it's been between 100 and 150. There's a gap up above at 130. So that's a stock that I'm attracted to. But again, it's about money management, and it's about leverage. You want to be buying on the dips and see how things hold. You've got better risk reward, and that's what this is all about.
I kind of like AMD on that list. I mean, there is a chip shortage. Excuse me, that's hard to say. A chip shortage in the world right now, and they, of course, will be able to pick up some of that business. So I think that they're going to perform very, very well. Going back to Etsy, I really like Etsy.
Here's your bonus round question for today: which university can boast the most billionaires?
Ooh, boy, I'm going with Harvard.
No, I'm gonna think Stanford. But if you're that smart, you don't have to go to school, do you?
Good point.
The answer is Harvard. Congratulations, Film, and congratulations to the class of 2021. You did it. We will be right back. For more Business First AM, check us out on social media. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And go to businessfirstam.com for where to see our show on TV.